Hello friends, welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. 30 years and way too many weeks ago, the next episode of Star Trek The Next Generation premiered. It was called The Hunted, and these are my honest opinions about it. This episode doesn't really have that much plot, most of it are actually action scenes, which means that this is going to be one of my shortest videos. We start with our heroes beaming down to a beautiful matte painting. They were given a tour by the Prime Minister, who has an impressive porn moustache. He's played by James Cromwell, who played many different aliens on The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. But of course, to Star Trek fans, he will be much better known from a movie called Babe and its sequel Babe Pig in the City. Or maybe some of you might know him as Zefram Cochrane from a tiny little insignificant movie called Star Trek First Contact. Anyway, he's trying to impress the Federation crew because he wants his planet to join the Federation, but something unexpected happens. He is informed that a dangerous killer escaped from prison. His people don't know how to deal with this type of situation, so the Enterprise has to interfere. And after the first big action scene, they catch the killer named Roga Danar. When Deanna walks through the corridor, she can feel Danar's harsh feelings from his cell. He is having a nightmare, or she uses the Force or something that's not important. She goes to him and wakes him up, and she's surprised that he's quite polite and civil when he controls himself. He doesn't look like a dangerous killer. She makes a little examination of the records with Mr. Data, and they find out that everybody, including Danar, everybody at the prison, are former soldiers. There was a civil war on the planet, which is by the way called Angosia 3. So the inhabitants created these super soldiers, but after the war ended, they didn't know what to do with them. So they were no longer capable of living amongst normal people, so they were put on a separate island, based on a public decision. Such nice people. I'm pretty sure that they will be a great addition to the Federation, right? But laws are laws. Danar must be sent back, and the Angosians send a ship for him. But when the Enterprise crew tries to beam him to the transporter ship, he has another special power. He can avoid being transported. So he disappears, and we have a second huge action scene, in which he plays hide-and-seek with the Enterprise crew. But he's not smarter than Worf, and Mr. Worf catches him in the end. But still, Danar is stronger than a Klingon, and in the end he wins and beams to the transport ship, and as we are told, he off-screen attacks the prison and frees all of the prisoners. So yes, the government has a serious problem. Picard and the crew beam down, noticing that they are preparing for a fight. And of course, the escaped soldiers get there too, prepared for a big, huge fight. They want to get a chance to return to normal society or die in battle. So what does Picard do in this matter? He and his people beam up to the Enterprise and let them deal with the situation alone. Picard even uses the term, if the government survives the night. Well, that's a bit cold-blooded, isn't it? That's a weird ending. A weird ending to an overall weird episode. Don't get me wrong, I truly enjoy watching it, but mainly because of the action scenes, because the majority of the episode contains action scenes. I don't know what to really talk about. This was the very first episode on which the legend himself, Ira Steven Behr, worked. His first job on Star Trek ever was rewriting the third act, but he knew absolutely nothing about Star Trek, so he turned it into a giant action scene. But it works, so I can't really complain. The only problem I find with the amount of action scenes is that they didn't have the time to fully develop the real story, which was supposed to be an allegory about the situation with the veterans and how the United States of America treats its veterans. You can feel the message there, but it's just not developed in a proper way. So yes, the original writer of the episode, Robin Berger, has later returned to Star Trek. She was working on a few scripts for Star Trek Voyager, but she never wrote for The Next Generation again. My opinion, the episode is fine. There's nothing really more to say about it. It's just fine. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is complete garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give this episode maybe 6 out of 10. But as always, these were just my opinions. Let me know what did you think about this episode. Did you love it, hate it, or do you agree with my slightly above average rating? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching and see you all on Monday. Bye.